Hello, I'm Vero van Abeele and I'm a UX consultant for Tinkerlist.
And I'm Erik, I'm the founder of Tinkerlist.
It's actually already almost 3 years ago, and we had discussions about AI is coming, but also about we need object-based journalism. It needs to be smarter, and we have very ineffective processes to create these items that we use in television. It's very hard to also tweet about them. And so that really inspired us to get thinking about stories.
We saw that there was a lot of products in the market that supported a very practical, technical workflow, and we were looking for something that is more journalism-based, that is more friendly towards journalism to create content. So we started off by wanting to create this ideal modular journalism mapping, and during the trajectory, AI was suddenly there, bigger and bigger and bigger than before.
I agree. We envisioned this 3 years, and in its essence, stories really help to very quickly, efficiently put out a story to different media channels, but also different audiences. So you can very easily have the same story event, but different tone of voices. So you can create one for Instagram where you have an informal tone of voice, and then you can also generate from the same news event, from the same story, a longer, more in-depth item for on television news. So that's the thing that Story solves now through this intelligent reuse and through AI as well. But I fully agree now with how powerful the latest models have become. We can now even envision a future for stories where we even focus less on reusing these different components, but maybe even through AI generate the grand story, and also immediately also the different variants for the different channels and audiences. We've built a platform in intense collaboration with media companies, with news organizations, with Brus, with Kanaal Z. But in the end, it's up to the editors, chief editors, journalists to decide which components they want to compose, and whether for that audience, that channel, it contains the right context, the right depth. What we offer for the different journalists, for the different reporters, they can access everything, so they can very easily add context if they need to. They can also unlock their own archive and go back into their own history, what they already covered. But in the end, it's an editorial decision how much information you want to give to a certain audience. That's not for us to decide.
In 5 years, I think stories will have way more AI. So when we started creating stories, I got very scared and I thought we're going to produce stories that all resemble each other a lot, and it's going to be... Yeah, I was thinking that it was only about text or semantics, but actually AI can also support journalists a lot in their workflow, in seeing what's important, in making summaries of content, in just adding another tone of voice to content. So actually, the value of journalists is still very, very high. I think they can do things more quickly, more efficiently. More thorough, more in depth, thanks to the help of AI, because they can produce so much more. And I think in 5 years, I hope we can make journalists produce a lot more content on different channels to compete with social media and with the public, so that they can still have an interesting voice in the industry, in media. Yeah.
Where do I see stories in the future? I think definitely what we also want to focus on is generating or using AI and intelligence at the level of the organization. Now we're using it at the level of the story. But you also, as a chief editor or as a manager, you want to understand, okay, but what stories are doing well? Which ones get a big audience? Which ones are we not as successful with? So using AI to also help with the analytics and the strategies that an organization, a news organization, should take.